In this lesson, I'm going to show you an Afro-Cuban bass drum rhythm called the bass tumbao. Now, the bass tumbao, or sometimes called the bass drum tumbao when played on the drum kit, is a rhythm that is originally derived from the congas. Now, what happened is in a style called rumba de Wawanko, that conga part got interpreted onto the double bass. And as salsa music has evolved, drum kit is now involved, and so sometimes a drummer might copy or double the bass player's part on the bass drum. So let's get into it. It's a very simple pattern. You'll want to see my lesson on the clave if you haven't already, because this rhythm does lock in with the clave somewhat, but not as much as some of the other rhythms do. This is a 2-bar pattern, just like most of the other Afro-Cuban drum set rhythms. But this bass drum tumbao is, when played in full, is actually the same thing every bar, whereas some of the other rhythms such as the cascara and the clave itself, they are actually two different bars. So let's get into it. What I'll do is keep time with the hi-hat on the left foot, and I'm going to demonstrate the full bass drum tumbao now. So we are in a time signature of 2-2 or cut common time, but you can think of it as 4-4 if you like, but I like to write it over 2 bars as 2 bars of 2-2. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so those bass drum tumbao notes fall on the and of 2 and on the 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that is the full bass drum tumbao. What I'd like to do is play the full bass drum tumbao with the son clave. Of course, you would be able to play it with any clave, but this will just show you how it locks in and creates the groove with the clave. So same thing, hi-hat will be playing quarter notes, full bass drum tumbao with son clave in the 2-3 variation. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that is the full bass drum tumbao, but what I'd like to show you next is a lighter version of the bass drum tumbao, which basically just takes away 1 note per bar. This is for situations where you may want to play, you might want to get a slightly less bottom heavy sound, so it doesn't interfere too much with the rest of the ensemble that you're working with. So basically it's going to be a lot simpler than the full bass drum tumbao. Let me play the light bass drum tumbao for you. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now there is an even lighter way to play the bass drum tumbao, and that is to take away the note from the first bar and only leave the note in on the 3 side of the clave. Again, we're in 2-3 clave here, so the second bar is what we call the 3 side of the clave. Now that note that we're playing at the moment, that note on the and of 2, 1 and 2 and, on the 3 side of the clave, that's what we call the bomba note. And the bomba note, bomba means bomb, and they're saying that the bass drum sort of sounds like a bomb when it falls on that note. That's probably the most important part of the clave, and if any of your bass drum notes should fall with the clave, it should be that bomba note. So again, on the 3 side of the clave, on the 2 and. And to get that note, all we have to do is take the previous exercise and leave the first bar completely blank and only play on the 2 and of bar 2. So let me play that for you. 2-3 son clave with the bomba note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this lesson on the Afro-Cuban bass drum Tumbao. Let me just take this lesson out by playing the Rumba de Wawanko rhythm, which makes use of this bombo note, and I'll also play a few different bass drum Tumbao variations as I go. Hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I'll see you on the next one.